Oh, I'm up here just talking to y'all. Y'all, I know for a fact y'all can hear me because why? It was on mute. So I know you can hear me. What it do, everybody? Waiting for a few people to come in. Of course, I know that not everybody is going to be on exactly at 8 o'clock because guess what? We got jobs, we got lives, we got food that we got to prepare for the household and all the things. So definitely appreciate you for tuning in. Of course, you guys know I am navigating some things over here to include the chat. Um, so I'm multitasking here, multitasking here, just waiting for some other people to come in. Yeah, just waiting for some other people to come in. Um, just waiting for some other people to come in. So I got some things in store for you guys, and of course, you can always, go back and review. If you have not shared the live yet, could you please do so? Um, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. That'll also be on here as well. I'm tech savvy, but I'm not fully tech savvy with this platform yet. So I would definitely be adding the handles so that they can be at the bottom of the screen, but that's later. But can you guys hear me well? Can you hear me well? Let's see. Hello, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't know why it won't let me edit it. So you might be wondering why is the screen the way that it is off to the side because I got some clips that I'll be showing you guys. So definitely want to let you know that checking in with Pam LLC is back with new improvements and things of the sort. So I'll be showing some things in a few minutes. So stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Please share the live, please. Please share the live. For whatever the reason, it will not let me edit the privacy, even though my profile is public. It's so weird. Can you guys hear me well? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. Let me see what we got going on. Okay, I see a comment over here naturally. Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing on YouTube that you can hear me well. Definitely appreciate you. If you are here with me on Facebook, can you give me a like on Facebook if you are here on YouTube, can you just give a thumbs up, the thumbs up emoji over there on YouTube? And I see people popping in and popping out. I get it, people. I get it. So of course, I'm paying attention to the camera, but as of now, I'm having to look in the comments for Facebook. I'll have to fix that by the next time, but for now, we're rolling with it. So at any rate, thank you again for being here with Checking In with Pam LLC. It is 7 minutes after 8. I do not want to hold you guys long. And I know typically, you know, I say that, and then the show turns into something so much greater. And I'm appreciative of that. I do want to thank the avid watchers, including those that will come back and watch the video later. For those of you that view it, for those of you that comment, for those of you that like it, I truly appreciate your involvement in Checking In with Pam LLC. This is the 4th season, y'all. The 4th season. I cannot lie to you guys. When I created this in 2022, never in a million years would I have expected to be on season 4. So for that, I definitely am appreciative of each and every one of you, the newcomers. Appreciate you for allowing me to, you know, speak with you guys, have this platform to talk about everyday life, as well as provide, you know, potential tips that could be helpful to you guys throughout your journeys. I again am extremely grateful, and I do not take this lightly. I'm of course adjusting the light here. So yes, I definitely appreciate you. Without further ado, it is in fact Men's Health Month. Though it is June 24th, it's Men's Health Month. And so I wanted to kind of chat about that a little bit before we get into the thick of the topics, because oftentimes, especially people of color, you don't oftentimes find men of color going to get different screenings and things like that. So if you are, you know, listening to this, please, please, please encourage your loved ones, people you may know, men that you may know that are of color, because statistically speaking, we do represent a lower amount in terms of people that go out to do visits, doctor visits and things like that. So please, please, please encourage them. I do it on a daily. Whenever I talk to family members, I try my hardest to encourage them. So for those of you that are tuning in, we're talking about encouraging men to go out and get screenings because it is in fact Men's Health Month. So please encourage the men in your life to go out and get screenings, early detection, you know, of anything, whether that be cancer, whether that be, you know, whatever the health issue is, the health concern, whether that's mental health. Please, please, please recommend that or encourage those that you are close to. And I wanted to say that before we get into the thick of everything, because again, we do unfortunately get affected with certain things at a higher rate than others, because again, early detection is great. And we typically perish for the lack of knowledge. You know, everything is accessible, everything is right here. You know, if you are paying attention, we are accepting sponsorships here at Checking In with Pam LLC. But yeah, on a serious tip, everything is easily accessible. So please encourage those that in your life to go and do screenings. Just to give you guys a transparent moment, my dad has prostate cancer amongst other illnesses. So for me, every single year, I will do a what is known as a PSA screening, and so it's just blood. So for those, you know, men that's in your life that's afraid to do the rectal exam that they typically do, if there's someone in your family or if there's a history of prostate cancer in your family, they can in fact do a PSA blood screen, as well as they can do a chemistry panel. The chemistry panel tests for a lot of different things, and it's just by your blood. So I know a lot of people don't like needles, but listen, if I can get, if you can stick my arm one time and you can send my blood to do whatever, things are, and I can get all my lab results at one time, please do that without having to do any of the other evasive things. So again, please, please, please recommend to the men in your life to have the screenings, because again, June is Men's Health Month. Okay. All right. So we're gonna proceed on. So I am popping back and forth looking at the comments too. So if I see a comment, I will stop. You guys know how we roll here, checking in with Family LLC. But I wanted to check in with you all, and don't give me too much. Okay, do not give me too much. But I'm curious to know.
Top 10 list of what not to buy for Father's Day. We said socks is on the list. That's.
I am curious to know what you guys did for Father's Day. What did you guys do for Father's Day? I had an emergency last week. This was a part of the plan for last week. To briefly touch on this, I did not get a chance to do that last week because I did have a family emergency. But we're here now, okay? And so with being here, I want to check with you and see what is it that you did for Father's Day? What is it that you did for Father's Day? Did you get the person, something that they wanted? Did you get them a meaningful gift? Did you take them out to a place that they have told you that they would like to go to? Or did you simply do something that you wanted for them? What does that look like? What did that look like? I'm just curious. I am just curious, and I have a clip here. So I'm just curious, and so I'm going to make myself smaller, so you guys are going to see me minimized on the screen while I play this video. Okay. So I'll play this video and we'll unpack this.
Top 10 list of what not to buy for Father's Day. We said socks is on the list. That's one.
Anything that says best dad ever.
Look, I know it's gonna put some t-shirt and hat people out of business, but that best dad, number one dad,
keep that where it's
all
at.
That. Stop buying that stuff, bro.
Keep that where it's at.
Okay, situational. If this is my first child, baby a couple months old, I'm on my first Father's Day.
Okay,
that might be cool.
No tools,
unless you're a carpenter,
right?
Or you got a hobby
right
that you like to build stuff on the side. Then buy tools. Don't buy me no tie.
No ties.
Definitely don't need no ties.
No mugs.
Random gadgets. I don't want no gadget.
That's
a
five.
Banana slicer or nothing like that. Egg separator. I don't want nothing like that.
Cargo shorts. Cargo shorts.
Wait, who bought you some cargo shorts?
This come out is gonna be close to Father's Day. Look at all the stores, all the sales. All the sales for clothing, somewhere in there is gonna be carpenter shorts.
No soaps, no.
Yeah, I don't need no. Don't give me no bourbon soap. No dad joke books. I don't want none.
No dad joke books. Nothing handmade. I don't want no handmade arts and crafts.
Right.
Pass this on, fellas. If you're afraid to say this yourself out loud,
yes, use our list.
Pass this on because we don't want those items.
So you have heard it. Those are not my words, but you heard it from the fellas. So let's unpack that a little bit. Lord, but the kids. That is hilarious. So let's unpack that a little bit, right? So here's my philosophy when it comes to this. I've been a child once, you know what I mean? And now as an adult, I would definitely say that, you know, it is certain things that I would look for in terms of being a father. I am currently a father of two foster babies, and they are definitely a joy to have around. And I would have to say that I truly feel like I got a lot of meaningful things. It wasn't just some average Joe stuff that I got. Like, it was meaningful things. It was well thought out. It was well articulated. And I'm immensely grateful for it because, to be honest with you, I didn't even think that it was going to go that in depth. But it was. Like, I had a lot of thoughtful gifts that were given to me. And this is just, you know, from a foster baby. So I can only imagine what I'm finna get when, you know, the Lord bless us with bio babies. You know what I mean? And so I'm definitely excited about that to come. But I said I wanted to play that video because I think, traditionally speaking, you'll see men getting the mugs, like they said. You'll see men getting the socks. You'll see men getting things that they probably will never even use, the power drills and things like that. So that's why I asked specifically, what is it that you got that man in your life? Even if you're not with your child's father, did you make sure that the kids got him something that is meaningful to him? Whether that be a photo, whether that be like, what is it, you know, that he likes? Did you do something that he wanted versus what you thought he needed or what you thought he should have had? Let's talk about that. And I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking at the chat from YouTube, and I'm looking at the chat from Facebook. Let's unpack that a little bit. Did you give the person something? And then let's also unpack this. I do have my father physically present with me. I want to make sure that we're also giving space to those of us that may have lost fathers. Okay. So I lost my mom. So of course, Mother's Day was extremely difficult for me, but there are some things that I did that uplifted my spirits around that time. And so I'll share that in a second. So I want to also give space to those that have lost a father. Or maybe you are, you know, working on rekindling your relationship with your father. And this is your father, or stepfather, or however. So my question to you is, for those of you that are just tuning in, I just showed a clip of what types of gifts not to have been given on Father's Day. So we're unpacking that a little bit, but then we're also providing space to those of us that have physically lost fathers. And what are some things that you did to kind of commemorate the memory of your father? And what, you know, wanted to make sure that we're providing space to that. So what are some things that you did to commemorate your father? Now, like I said, I have not lost my father. I will say that I did lose my mom. And so for me, commemorating her, and again, we're not going to go too far into it, but I'm just giving you guys an example. Commemorating her, I did a balloon release for her. Me and my girlfriend, we did balloon releases for our mothers because our mothers are not physically here. So I'm asking you, did you do anything to kind of commemorate your father on Father's Day? And if not, this is perhaps, you know, the time to start doing it. And it's not too late. This is the time to start creating a tradition, you know, where you can still keep those memories alive. You can still, you know, do things that's providing you with that space. You know, of course, you don't want to dwell on the fact that your father or your loved one is not physically here, but you still do want to do things in a healthy way because you don't want to get stuck, right? And so doing, you know, like a balloon release or other types of things to commemorate the memory of a lost loved one helps. And so again, for those of you that are tuning in, and I see your comment, see, I'm gonna read that in a second. For those of you that are tuning in, I just played a clip and we talked about getting gifts that a person wanted to get that person for Father's Day versus what the father actually wanted, what is actually useful or meaningful for that father. So we're talking about the socks, and we're talking about the "Are you the best dad ever" mugs, and we're talking about all those things. So we're talking about that. What did you do? And I want to see y'all in the comment. Hey, Miss Daphne, thank you for joining. Yes. So Sierra said, meaningful this year? No, typically I do. So with other holidays and birthdays, the gifts differ. Okay. So let's unpack that a little bit. See, so when I ran across that clip, I was like, I can understand that. Now, to be honest with you guys, while you guys are possibly messaging, so I'm looking at the comments, I'll give you guys a backstory. So I did not physically get my dad anything for Father's Day. All right. For those of you that have been traveling virtually with my journey, I have made it clear, to you guys that my father and I did not have the best relationship for 33 years of my life. That's the reality. That's just what it was, right? And so it was extremely difficult for me to be in a space where not only did I forgive my father for not being present, did I forgive my father for not teaching me life lessons that I feel that him as a man should have taught me. I also had to do all of this while grieving the loss of my mom. So it was extremely difficult for me. But what I can say is, prior to my father recently, 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, he became really ill. So I said that to say we had a chance. My father and I, when my mom passed, I have to give credit where credit is due. He stepped up and he began to call me 3 times out the week. So that helped in the healing process. He checked on me. Just being transparent, he even gave me food stamps. And I know for a lot of people, like, what? Food stamps? Like, he bought me groceries, something that he's never done before. So while it's small, it was a gift that I didn't know that I needed from my father. You see what I'm saying? So I said that to say my gift with him in this moment, and hopefully that'll change next year. But my gift was us continuing to work on our relationship, me continuing to be there to answer calls whenever he calls, me continuing to work on where I am now as his child, to continue to do whatever I can to, make sure that he's good, do everything that I can to continue along the journey of forgiveness. Because a lot of time I think people think, oh, okay, forgiveness is a one and done. You say that you forgive the person and then now you don't have to touch it no more. Because the reality is, guess what? There's going to be repeated times that you got to forgive. And the reason why I'm saying that is, even if you are just doing the action of forgiveness. So I don't want anybody to get confused on what I'm saying. Not that you have to physically give that person forgiveness every single chance you think about it, but you have to continue the process. Because guess what? The reality is, anybody that wrongs you, you're not going to forget it. Unless something happens medically or what have you, you're not going to forget it. So you're going to have to continue to operate in that forgiveness space. So that's all I'm saying. Thank you, C. I appreciate that. Amen. That's a start. I appreciate that, Miss Daphne. You really got to heal from them being absent. Absolutely. You know what I mean? The reality is you have to heal from that. And I could have easily, because he's now in a space where I am the form of a caretaker, I could easily give back to him what I felt that he gave to me, and that was nothing. You see what I'm saying? But now, am I doing things the right way? Am I really working on my healing journey? Or if my mom was still here, I can hear her right now. I can literally hear her audibly say, Jarvis, that's still your dad. So regardless of whether he showed up the way that he should have, he's still my dad. Without him, guess what? I wouldn't be here. So, again, that's the part of the healing journey for me. But I don't want to spend too much time on that. I was looking to see if I saw any comments on, what kind of gifts y'all gave, people, whether it was a meaningful gift to your child's father, your children that are fathers, or whatever, whatever the dynamics are. And if you have lost your father, what did you do to commemorate? And so I didn't see any comments on that. So we can go ahead and we're going to keep pushing because I want to keep y'all while you're here. All right. So now we're going to turn it up a little bit and we're going to change gears. So in preparing for the show, I was talking to one of my crazy cousins, actually. And I put the post up and I tagged the song Betty Wright, Tonight is the Night. Now, we know the song for the purposes of copyrights. I couldn't, play it because it would mute the video. So that's the reason why I put it on here. But we know the song Betty Wright. We know we had grandmas, aunties, uncles, whomever that played the song, right? So it had me thinking because it was just a spur of the moment when I tagged that. But I thought, oh, wait, this is great. Great, great, great. So with that being said, I have heard a recurring topic of 50-50 in relationships, right? 50-50 in relationships. And this is marriage or relationships, you staying with your partner. Whatever your dynamics look like, right? But 50-50 in relationships. And so I wrote a little tagline, and I'm ready. I'm ready for the smoke because I know it's going to come. So I'm ready for the smoke. So the tagline that I added to this was, some women want a man that is a breadwinner, but when he comes home, there is no bread nor dinner. Okay? And so I'm not saying all, some. So this goes to some of the women that prefer to be housewives. Okay, listen. I've always said that, like, in my current setup, me and my girlfriend, we do not live in the same home. When our lives merge, if, let's say, for instance, the Lord blesses us with kids, when the Lord blesses us with bio kids, and the first 5 years, she said, listen, I want to, at least the first 2-3 years until my child is, our children are able to talk, I'm okay with staying home. I would like to stay home. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm already taking care of my household anyway. What would be the difference? What would truly be the difference in her being able to stay home if I'm already taking care of the household, my separate household now anyway, right? So what I'm asking is, if that's the case, then there are certain things that I would be expecting to be done. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to be quiet for a second. There's a clip that I want to show, and I want to dissect this a little bit once we see this clip, okay? So for those of you that are tuning in, we're talking about the recurring topic of 50-50 in relationships, and what does that mean, all right? So I'm going to play this clip real quick, and we're going to dissect it in a second. So I'm going to go small on the screen so you can see the video.
I don't mind going 50-50 with no man. But a man got to understand, as long as you got me going 50-50 and I'm a mother, please do not expect 100% woman or 100% submission from me. I don't have time. When I get off work, I have to pour into my children. So therefore, no, we might not eat a home cooked meal every day. This house might not be cleaned every day. No, I might not be able to keep up with the grocery shopping, the organizing, the household product shopping. We may run out of toilet tissue because I had to work a 12-hour shift yesterday and I forgot to stop and get something. But I got your half of the rent money though. Nah, baby, I can't suck no dick tonight. I'm tired. Work kicked my ass. Then I had to make sure that I got the kids situated, got them for bed, got them ready for school the next day. Now it's time for me to go to bed because I got to get up in the morning to go work again because you need half of the bill money. Please do not expect me to be 100% woman if you got me being 50% man, Sugarfoot. I ain't got no problem with it, but you might. You want to go 50-50? Be prepared to go 50-50 on everything. I don't feel like doing the dishes. You got to do them today. I'll do them tomorrow, sugar. You gave me the option to say no.
All right. So I am ready to see in the chat what y'all got to say about it. Now, while I'm waiting to see what y'all comments are about this, I will be the first to say that my girlfriend and I, we talk about this all the time. I don't mind, while I don't particularly like to cook, I don't mind if she comes home, she cooks, then I'm gonna do the dishes. That's just me. I'm not telling all the other fellas that's looking at this video, that's joining on my platform. I'm not telling you that that's what you got to do for your household. I'm simply saying that if she comes home, she's cooking after she's went and she's worked, then I'm okay with cleaning up. I don't have a problem with it. I'm okay that if she chooses, or if we have collectively communicated that she's going to be a stay-at-home wife, at least for the first 3 years of our child's or children's lives, I don't have a problem with that either. There's just going to be a few stipulations that I would want to put in place. And that being, I'm going to be expecting when I come home, I don't have to wait for dinner to be cooked. If I'm going out and I'm a breadwinner, I don't want to have to come home and wait for dinner to be cooked. I don't want to have to come home and I'm stepping on toys as I'm trying to get in, because guess what? I done went and I'm putting in all of these hours to make sure that the lifestyle that we have been afforded, that I can keep up with the demands of what that looks like. So then, therefore, you traded in going to punch in on a 9 to 5 to be a stay-at-home wife. So in that regard, while you doing that time, whatever it is, I'm expecting you to be a housewife. But again, that's the conversation, and it needs to be agreed upon. So I agree with a lot of what was shown in that clip. Of course, I didn't agree with all of the language that she used. Of course, I didn't necessarily agree with the demeanor that she had, but she said a lot of things that I'm like, sounds logical to me. I can't take offense to that because it sounds logical to me. Do you guys need me to put the video back up? I see Miss Daphne said, wow. Do you guys need me to play the video again so that we can dissect it a little bit more? If you need me to play the video again, put a yes in the chat, because I'm looking for different things, but put a yes in the chat if you need me to play the video again. I don't mind. Y'all look quiet tonight. I thought that was gonna get y'all, you know what I mean? I thought that was gonna get y'all started. Like, I understand the first two areas that we talked about was gonna be a little chill, but I was expecting to get it rolling. All right, so over here on YouTube, I see Naturally NC came in and said, we can go in on everything but handle certain things we agreed on separately, i.e. me cooking and him taking out the trash. Exactly. I'm in agreement with that. If I'm gonna talk, well, I'm gonna play the video again. I see somebody said play the video again. So I'm gonna play the video again, but I do agree with that. Like, it's certain responsibilities that we can split. Like, if we both work and we both get out here to the bag, then I can expect you to come home and you do all the cooking, you do all the cleaning, but we both just went out and worked a 9 to 5. How can I expect that? But again, that's me. This is also me being raised by women only. So I didn't see women just sitting around. I saw women going to do a 9 to 5, and then they come home and they setting time aside for whether that be cooking or setting aside time for cleaning or whatever the case might be. I seen it being done also. Then I automatically understood, like, hey, you don't just sit around as if you just the king. No, you are a king. She is the queen. Y'all work together. The end. But anyway, I will play the video again. Here is the video. Let me make myself smaller. Smaller video.
I don't mind going 50-50 with no man. But a man got to understand, as long as you got me going 50-50 and I'm a mother, please do not expect 100% woman or 100% submission from me. I don't have time. When I get off work, I have to pour into my children. So therefore, no, we might not eat a home cooked meal every day. This house might not be cleaned every day. No, I might not be able to keep up with the grocery shopping, the organizing, the household product shopping. We may run out of toilet tissue because I had to work a 12-hour shift yesterday and I forgot to stop and get something. But I got your half of the rent money though. Nah, baby, I can't suck no dick tonight. I'm tired. Work kicked my ass. Then I had to make sure that I got the kids situated, got them for bed, got them ready for school the next day. Now it's time for me to go to bed because I got to get up in the morning to go work again because you need half of the bill money. Please do not expect me to be 100% woman if you got me being 50% man, Sugarfoot. I ain't got no problem with it, but you might. You want to go 50-50? Be prepared to go 50-50 on everything. I don't feel like doing the dishes. You got to do them today. I'll do them tomorrow, sugar. You gave me the option to say no.
So I saw a laughing emoji, and I'm willing to bet that was from my cousin. But nonetheless, what's going on, cuz though? Nonetheless, I played the video. Like I said earlier, I agree with some of what she said. My cousin said, "Oh, she gotta go and definitely gonna be performing fellatio tonight," is what he said. I want you to expound on that a little bit, cousin. Why is that your take? Why is that your take? Explain it a little bit more, so that the people that's in the chat can better understand that thought process. I am going to say, if she's going to work a 9 to 5, just as I'm going to work a 9 to 5, I'm not going to expect certain things out of her that basically I'm not willing to do. Sierra said that she agrees. She agrees with the lady. Miss Daphne said it's all about compromising because the relationship is about give and take. And again, I 1000% agree with that. Like if we are in this thing together, you going out, you working your 9 to 5, I'm working my 9 to 5, then absolutely I'm expecting us to be able to meet halfway. I'm not going to expect you to come home, you to cook. I'm not going to expect you to come home and you to do all of the what is known as traditionally all the womanly duties, but yet you just went out and worked a 9 to 5 just like I did. I don't feel like that's fair. I don't feel like, you know what I mean? And again, I'm not speaking for all fellas. I'm speaking for Jarvis. If there's fellas that agree with what I just said, come through, let me know. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, cool. All right. So Sierra came in and said, so is it really 50-50? Many men think 50-50 is just a financial piece, supposed to be a team. And again, that's why I said 50-50 to me is literally splitting everything down the middle. And there's some give and take, but let's start here. Splitting everything down the middle in terms of bills, in terms of responsibilities, in terms of duties as it pertains to kids, all of that. Now, I'll take it a step further. To me, 50-50 also can be if I make more, I carry the heavier load. So let's use one household. So I can pay the mortgage. 50-50 don't then mean that I need you to pay half the mortgage, but 50-50 may mean that I need you to then pay all the other miscellaneous bills, all of our subscriptions, all of the utilities, car insurance, things like that. You're taking the smaller bills and being able to pay that. To me, that is also equivalent to 50-50. You don't necessarily have to split the mortgage down the line. I got that. You ain't got to split the mortgage. But I am then expecting you to pay the utilities, the subscriptions, the car insurance. And then if we got our own separate car notes, then of course you take care of your car note, I take care of my car note. Listen. And then other things we can kind of have a conversation about and figure it out as we see fit. So that's my take on the 50-50 scenario. Mark came in and said, I still have to protect and provide 24/7. Ain't nothing 50-50 about that. Okay. Now that's a different dynamic. I can understand that. I can understand what he means when he say protect and provide 24/7. So if something go wrong with your car, can you contact AAA? You can. The likelihood of you contacting AAA while you're in a relationship with somebody is slim to none, unless that person is just somewhere where they can't access you, they can't get to you. So I can understand that. I can agree with that part of it. I can. And then as far as the provide 24/7, give me a little bit more information on that if you don't mind. Give me a little bit more, tell me a little bit more about that part. But do y'all understand what he's saying? He said if he still got to protect and provide 24/7, where's the 50-50 in that? What would the 50-50 compromise be in terms of that? Now, I'm waiting on y'all to tell me some stuff. What's up? What's up? I know y'all fingers is typing, but I'm looking. Tell me what y'all thinking about that. I'm waiting to see what you got to say on this, but I'm definitely ready for the next one too. So yeah, so protection, 24. Can you have an ADT bill and a CPI bill to protect you while you sleep at night? You can. But the likelihood of y'all being in a relationship, there's going to be certain things that you're going to be expecting him as the man to do. So I do understand what he's saying in terms of that. And I do agree with what he's saying to a certain extent. I do. Where y'all at? Y'all supposed to be blowing this chat up by now. All right. Well, listen, because y'all know I'm always respectful of time. So I'm going to turn it up a notch. Now, my question is, okay, naturally, NC said, if I'm not working, the kids are good, and so is the home. Okay, I can understand that, but I think what he was saying is he's talking about the protection in terms of me protecting the home, making sure that you have a sense of peace, that you're never worried in terms of, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, Showtime, Gillum. I'm thinking, based off of what my interpretation of that, I'm thinking he's also saying that if I'm having to physically protect the home, make sure that you can sleep well at night without having to worry about whether somebody's going to come mess with you and the kids or whatever the case may be. That's what I'm thinking he's meaning in terms of that. But we can wait to see if there's a follow-up message to that. Is there more that you would like to share, Naturally NC, about your part? Did I understand or misinterpret what you were saying? All right. So while I'm waiting for the comments, I'll be looking, and we'll wrap back around to those. We'll wrap back around to those if I do see anything. So the next question is, I have a clip. How you leave the chat, Mark, and I just explained what you said, and then now they're waiting for you to respond, and so you probably don't even know what I just said. Anyway, so I got a question. No. Naturally, NC, you just said no. Oh, I got it. Okay, appreciate it. So the question is the next topic. Thank you for tuning in. I see y'all getting lippy. Thank you for tuning in. So the next topic is: can you accept constructive criticism? Can you accept constructive criticism in a relationship? Can you accept constructive criticism in a relationship? So I'm gonna play this video, and it's real quick, but I will let it play twice, and then we'll go back and we'll talk about it. All right? So let the video play twice, and then we will talk about it.
If you want a healthier relationship, start taking criticism. Take each piece if it applies and let it apply. If it doesn't, then go on about your business. But if you want a healthier relationship, if you're dating, if you're a girlfriend, if you're a wife, whatever it may be, you want a healthy relationship, baby, take the criticism as constructive. Take it as a learning tool.
All right, so I'm gonna play that video clip one more time.
If you want a healthier relationship, start taking criticism. Take each piece if it applies and let it apply. If it doesn't, then go on about your business. But if you want a healthier relationship, if you're dating, if you're a girlfriend, if you're a wife, whatever it may be, you want a healthy relationship, baby, take the criticism as constructive. Take it as a learning tool.
Okay, so I see in the chat, Miss Daphne said she totally agrees with that. Sierra came in and said that's in any relationship, that's how you grow. Miss Daphne came back in and said, take it as a learning tool, that's how your relationship grows. Mark came in and said, of course, as men can, it's the other species that can't take accountability. And so I have had scenarios where it's been a mixture. Like, hey, let me tell you all about you, but I'm not willing to accept anything that you say about me. And so while that clip is geared towards the woman, while she was speaking directly towards women, to the women, there's some of us men that need to continue to work on that too. I can't sit here and say that there has not been times where I have not wanted to hear constructive criticism. I'm in a space now where I absolutely want to hear constructive criticism. If there's something that I need to be working on, something that I need to improve in, tell me that. But here's the catch. Here's the caveat to that. It's the delivery. If you wait till we directly in the middle of a disagreement, and now you want to tell me, you know, all the things that I need to be knowing about myself, yeah, I'm probably not going to hear you. And yeah, that's probably going to raise the level of what has happened to a whole different space. Give me my constructive criticism. Tell me what some things that you think or you would like for me to work on, or whatever the case may be. I'm cool with that. But don't wait right there in the midst of a disagreement and then now you want to tell me all the things that you wanted to have told me in the past. That no longer is constructive criticism. That is you taking the opportunity to what? Deflect. You taking the opportunity to change it into something that we could have easily talked about prior to now. Something that you could have brought to the forefront prior to now. But instead, you chose to wait directly now that we have the disagreement. All right, Miss Daphne came in and said, if you can't take constructive criticism, it's always it will always be tension in your relationship. I agree. That's where you'll start to notice the walking on eggshells. That's when you notice that it's always tense no matter what you've tried, no matter what you try to do. But that's because neither one of y'all can receive the information from the other. All right, over here on YouTube, I see a comment that says, as long as it's constructive and not destructive. Okay, can you elaborate more on that? Because while we understand what constructive and destructive means, we want to understand it a little bit better. Tell us a little bit more about what that looks like. What you understand that to be, or what have you. Ms. Daphne said, having those uncomfortable conversations. And see, that's the thing. I'm one of those ones, I'm very comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations. Is it something that I want to have in terms of it turning into an argument? No. My goal is never to turn something into an argument. But if I can't come to you and express to you what I have experienced, not from previous, but directly from you, and I'm in a relationship with you, then what are we doing? What is it that we're doing if I can't come to you and I have a conversation with you? Now, this is Jarvis speaking personally. If I deliver something to you and it's not in a digestible manner, and you want, to kind of tell me like, hey, the way you said that, I can't really receive that. Okay, I can listen to that. I can receive that. Like if I'm coming to you and I'm on 1,000, but what I could have done is, rather than allowing it to bottle up, I could have just easily come to you and had the conversation before it got to that level. Okay, I can respect that. Like, hey, the way that you presented that to me isn't, appropriate, or whatever the case may be. But what can't happen is, you can't, if I come to you, quote unquote, and I'm on 1,000, you can't then come back at 1,000 and expect either one of us to list out. Well, how does that work? How does that work? So Naturally NC on YouTube said, tell me about whatever it is in a way that is receptive. Don't pick or make me feel like I'm being belittled. Okay, now, chat, I would like for you guys to dissect that and you guys to talk about it. I have my take on it. I'm going to say my take on it, but I'm going to repeat it again so that it can be understood. So the comment is, tell me about whatever it is in a way that is receptive. Don't pick or make me feel like I'm being belittled. Okay? So my take on that would be, that is the feeling of being belittled in scenarios is subjective. So I would definitely say it depends on the scenario. Because if somebody's coming to you and they're using the best tone, or they're using the tone like I'm currently using, we're having a conversation. I'm just talking to you. What I have to say, you may not like it, but is it now that I have belittled you? Or is it that, oh shit, this is a little bit too spicy for me, this is a little bit too hot for me, so now I'm going to start deflecting. Now I'm going to start calling you your names, or I'm going to do whatever I feel like will back you off of me because I didn't like what you had to say, even though your tone is exactly the tone that you're using to me right now. But I feel like I have been belittled because the real issue is I didn't like what you had to say, because while it was constructive criticism, to me, it didn't feel that way because I'm not accustomed to it. Ms. Daphne said, constructive criticism does cause people to become defensive. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Constructive criticism, regardless of how many times people say, yeah, lay it on me, bring the constructive criticism. And this is me saying that I want you to tell me the truth, but there has absolutely been times that I have been offended or even been defensive based off of how it was presented to me, how the constructive criticism was told to me. Now, you telling the truth on me, even though it might hurt, you telling the truth on me, I can receive that. I might even have something smart to say, but I can receive you telling the truth on me. I can receive you bringing something to me in a manner that I can receive it. But again, if you bring it to me in the midst of a tense moment and you only bring it up because we now having a disagreement, because where was it at all the time that you should have said it prior to now? Where was it then? Or did you just say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go with that mantra where they say, oh, okay, well you pick and choose your battles. Yeah, you do pick and choose your battles. That's a real thing. But then if that's a recurring thing and you don't say anything about it and it continues to happen, and then you wait directly until the midst of an argument, then like what we doing? What we talking about? Sierra came in and said, yes, delivery is important. Absolutely. And then Miss Daphne came in and said accountability. And this is accountability on all sides. There's no right or wrong in terms of that. Everybody in the relationship, if you've been an adult, you got to take accountability. Again, I might want to defend my point, but I heard you. I'm listening to you. What did I do that made you feel that way? Let's unpack it. Let's talk about it. But then we also got to think about, okay, well, if what I'm saying to you is that, am I getting the type of reaction that I'm getting because you may have experienced something, or maybe I did something to you that's similar to what you've experienced before, regardless of whether it came from your mama, your daddy, your family members, your past relationships, whatever. Because I can speak for me. I have had a response to things that my current relationship is saying, but it was similar to what I have experienced in the past. And that's called what? Trauma. That you didn't even necessarily know that you needed to heal from. Because maybe that wasn't of issue at that time, but now it is. Naturally said, it's always received better to me when you're not talking shit or firing shots. And I could agree with that, but I also think that that's easier said than done. Because if somebody comes to a person and they say whatever it is that they feel they need to say, they're not necessarily, their intention is not to come on the rah-rah tip, on the 1,000 or whatever, but it is then received that way because, again, that's not a conversation that a person is accustomed to, or that's not the way that the person is accustomed to dealing with it. Well, is it really, is it really talking shit, or is it really, firing shots? Is that really the case, or is that subjective? As I said earlier, is that subjective because that's what you're accustomed to from previous? I don't know. I don't know. So what say you guys? And I do appreciate the comments that you guys have placed in here. So I definitely appreciate that. Okay. So I have another clip. Thank you, Ms. Daphne. I have another clip here to show. And if there are other comments, please, if you're in the middle of typing, please continue to type. You guys know I like to read comments, and I definitely will review them and we'll unpack them together. All right. This video is a little bit longer, so I hope you got a little bit of patience, but it's not long, but it's longer. All right, so I'm gonna play it.
Hey, baby, come sit on this porch with me. Quit running from that relationship. I'm not talking about the toxic one. I'm talking about the healthy relationship that's making you reflect. I know it seems like it's hard to navigate this healthy relationship. Well, it's a lot more different because you have to use more of your wise mind. That means that you're more flexible in your thinking. You're more mindful when you communicate. You're respecting your needs without abandoning other people. You're willing, putting in more effort, because in that space of a healthy relationship, either you have built the skills or you're building the skills and you're navigating that relationship more consciously. It takes a lot more reflection to make a healthy relationship sustain. However, that toxic relationship, you operate more in your emotion mind. Impulsive, irrational, generalized, polarized in your thinking, behaviors are based more in your fears and avoidant. I'm not meaning to discourage you, because a healthy relationship is a thriving relationship. There's a difference in a healthy relationship because your neural pathways have changed. So you're not using the same habits that you used before, those subconscious patterns that cause you to self-sabotage. No, when you're operating in a healthy relationship, those pathways have changed because the habits that you had before that were not healthy, you're being mindful. You're applying skills like the stress tolerance, emotion regulation, interpersonal effectiveness that's causing you to create healthier habits. It can feel off because it's not familiar to you. It can just seem like this is unfamiliar. I don't know how this is going to work, but it'll work so long as you have a person who it can work with. In a healthy relationship, you're so much more flexible with your thinking. So a lot of times, especially when you're in conflict, you realize that just because we have a disagreement or we're in conflict, it does not mean that we're not compatible. You hold space for the both of you, your partner, and your experiences as well. Come on now, wouldn't you like a relationship where you or your partner can say, hey, I can see how I hurt you. That was not my intention. I want to make it right. Versus a person who's more defensive, like, oh, well, that's your feeling in the process. I don't care about that. No one told you to be hurt. You see, that was therapeutic to be able to have that type of dialogue, to know that you can share a space with someone, you can share your fears and your vulnerabilities and your past and stuff like that with somebody who can create or at least hold a space with you to be able to process that. Being in a space where you can be honest about your needs without having to test them to see if they're going to meet your needs, or testing to see if they actually love you. That's the space that you should want to be in. So if you're sitting there like, this healthy relationship thing is exhausting, well, it's because you're doing it consciously.
All right. Now I know that was a lot. And on this platform, y'all know I will start with me. I would definitely say that in listening to that, I was like, okay, I feel like I do that. Okay, I feel like I do that in a healthy way. But then there was the part where she talked about how sometimes I have been quick to say, oh, well, that's your issue. That's your thing. I have been quick to say that. So I can honestly say that in listening to that video, I felt like it was good to have to bring to the platform so that we could dissect it, so that we could talk about it. But then I also felt like, in listening to it, I was like, okay, well, I do that in a healthy way. I do that in a healthy way. I do that in a healthy way. Ooh, that right there, I need to work on that. So I want to ask you, do you know the difference between a healthy relationship and a toxic relationship? And I'm not talking about the cliche answer, y'all. I'm not talking about, oh, okay, well, if the person is doing this and in his visible signs that person is toxic, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the cliche stuff. I'm talking about let's go deeper. I'm talking about let's go deeper to the point where we're realizing what it is that we may be doing or may have done that we know for a fact is toxic, versus those things that we know for a fact that we worked extremely hard and we know that we're now operating in a more healthier. And none of this happens overnight. So also give yourself grace in that. But I'm just curious, what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that? So based off of the video, based off of what she said, based off of honestly self-reflection, have you really truly taken the time to reflect on, dang, when I did this in the past relationship, no, it didn't serve me no purpose. It wasn't good, and then now fast forward to now, whether I'm in a relationship or whether I'm still single. But now at this point, is it did I truly take accountability for what I did in the situation? Or am I going to continue to say, oh, okay, well, no, it was the other person. The other person made me do this. And so therefore, I'm going to continue to do what I've always done. Regardless of whether the new person thinks that it's right or wrong, I'm going to continue to do what I've always done. Because, well, quite frankly, it's just a defense mechanism. It's been so long, it was toxic. It's been so long, it was toxic. Miss Daphne said, I love that clip. Yes. Nakima, it's been so long, it was toxic. Are you saying your last relationship was toxic, or your behaviors, the demeanor was toxic? What are you saying in terms of that? YouTube, what say you? Can toxic become healthy with work? Absolutely. Anything can become healthy. And what I mean by that is, now, if you, and I'm just using this as an example, if you have the complaining spirit, you complain about everything, nothing is ever good enough, nothing, you wake up on the wrong side of the bed 95% of the time. Food ain't never right. You're just not happy. That can be worked on, but you got to make a conscientious effort to do that, right? That saying where they say anything worth having is worth fighting for, that is where that comes into play. Like if you know that you got some toxic traits, you know that you have had some things that did not serve you a purpose in the past, those are things that you have to work on. Like me, for instance, my fuse back in the day, used to be short. Do things still piss me off right now? Do I still have moments where I want to cuss everybody out at the time? Yeah, yes, and yes. But a part of growth is understanding that things that you did in the past didn't serve you in a purpose. So now how is it that you are expecting things to just, be better, even though you operate in the same exact way that you always have? So Sierra, Nakima came in and said the relationship was toxic. Okay, thank you for clarity on that. Ms. Daphne came in and said, yes, you just have to change your thought pattern. And then Ms. Daphne came back in and said, you definitely gotta learn how to just communicate. Exactly. If you know that you navigate, I see your comment over here in YouTube land as well. If you know that you have operated something, first of all, understand that projecting and always making it somebody else's fault, whether that be your mama, your auntie, your family members, past relationships, or whatever the case may be, instead of making it about somebody else, what was your fault in it? What did you do in that? That is how you can start addressing the toxic traits. Now, again, here, checking in with Family LLC, we talk about everything. We talk about what I've done, and like we keep it all the way real, right? Because we keep it real, raw, and uncut on Checking In with Family LLC. So I have definitely been one of those ones in the past where I would get angry over the smallest things. Am I at a place where I would like to be right now? No, I'm still a work in progress. I'm still doing the work. I'm still doing the work individually. I'm still looking at positive affirmation videos. I'm still looking at videos of what I think is ideal in terms of how guys should be communicating with women. I'm looking at all these things. Why? Because I didn't have that. I didn't have if I had my uncle directly in front of me, I would say the same thing. I didn't have an uncle or my father, or hell, even the stepdad that I had, that actually showed up and said, hey, son, this is how you go about this. This is how you go about this. This is how you go about this. Everything that I know in terms of how to treat a woman, how to stand up for myself, how to do any of that came through the lens of a woman. So it's certain things that I'm still having to learn. It's certain things that, you know, I'm okay with saying, hey, I don't have a problem with saying that I'm still learning. I don't have a problem with it because I feel like that, as the question was posed, I feel like that is a part of the growth, attacking and addressing the toxic traits. So it ain't something that could just be easily erased. It's definitely going to continue to be a work in progress for whomever. Sierra came in and said, correct. I don't think that was in the clip. That would have been an added piece to that. What added piece to that? You talking about communication? See, come back and tell me what you mean, because I went on a little rant. Tell me what you mean about in the clip. What could have been an added piece? Tell me a little bit more about that. And I'm not even going to address the woo, Lord. Yeah, I'm not even going to address that. Ms. Daphne came in and said it's called growth and continue to read about relationships. Exactly. Like, we got to understand, a lot of us were raised and we were taught how to survive. We were taught how to, we honestly were taught how to live in survival mode, right? Because they had toxic that was instilled in them generationally, you know what I mean? And so it's a lot of that then spills over into elsewhere. So now you gotta unlearn a lot of the habits that you got from your parents, from their parents, and so forth and so on, because, well, quite frankly, what they did was not right. Go to any of you guys have you know, older people in your life, and this is not all, but majority of the older people that's in your lives, I don't want to give an age range because I don't want you guys to think that there's no ageism. But what I am saying is, the more senior people in your family, go to them and talk about counseling. Go ahead. Go to them and talk about counseling and see what your response is going to be. See what your response will be. So YouTube says when you have only operated in toxicity, the road to health is very hard, and I do agree with that. What the songwriter said? No one, I can't give up now, and the song Can't Give Up Now. No one said the road will be easy, because it's not. The reality is, you got however many years of operating in the way that you have. That also including how you were raised, how they were raised. So you got all of this stuff that you now got to go and unlearn. So it's definitely not going to be, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do these self-help books and all of this stuff for a month, and then boom, I'm healed. I'm ready. No, it don't work like that. It is an ongoing process. It's a work in progress, literally. The phrase is called work in progress for a reason, because it's going to continue to have to be a thing. Like, you can't just do a one and done thing. And all the things that you did 3 months ago, once you started to get positive results, it also don't mean, okay, well, I got the positive results back then, but then something else happened. So now I got to revert back to the way that I was handling it before, because I was doing something good, but then now, because of this situation, I'm now going to revert back to the way that I used to do it, because I didn't get the desired result that one time. No, you still got to continue to add to the tool belt. Everybody that know me personally know that Jarvis talks about that tool belt. I talk about that tool belt frequently because I truly believe that in life you get this tool belt, and there's things that you add to the tool belt, and then there's things that you take out of the tool belt. Like she said in the earlier video, there's things that apply to you, and then there's things that don't apply to you. But most importantly, if you are interested in continuing to grow individually, and then if you're in a relationship, you're willing and ready to grow in the relationship as well, then it's gonna be important to continue that work in progress. Ms. Daphne came in and said, if you were in a toxic relationship, take that and flip it around to positive. Agreed. I do agree with that. Take the things that you know for a fact that you were doing well in that relationship, cultivate that, build upon that, and then the things that you know, you know, and I'm going to you as in anybody, including that you being me, anything that you know for a fact that you've really truly effed up in your past relationship, don't brush that to the side. You know what you did. I know what I did. Like, come on now. Like, we're not hurting nobody else but ourselves. Wonder why the relationships don't last long? Or is it that you're in a relationship and you just on autopilot, like, oh, okay, well, I'm here because I want somebody. Oh, I'm here because it's convenient. Oh, I'm here because you help me help you help us. Oh, are we really truly building, or are we just literally sitting here on autopilot? Are we working on something? Are we working together on something? Are we working towards a common goal? Are we addressing the problems that we have so that my hope in my current relationship, and hopefully this is the only one and this is marriage, my hope is the things that we've ever discussed towards the beginning of our relationship will just be like, oh, do you remember we used to argue about that? Do you remember how we used to, talk about that back in the past? But now look at where we have grown in terms of our relationship. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want. I want to be able to think about the things that used to be a thing of the past. And now we can literally say, okay, you know what? We dealt with some toxic stuff. We were toxic. We had a lot of toxicity that we brought towards the relationship, not knowing what we needed to work on, because we didn't have anybody, honestly, we didn't have anybody to challenge us in the way that we needed to be challenged. Again, anything worth having is worth fighting for. Ms. Daphne came in and said, yes, talk to those that been in 25 years or more of marriage. Exactly. Like, I gotta be honest, like, I love, and you better not say nothing ever about my grandparents. Even though I didn't rock with my granddad, I rock with my grandma. I appreciated the fact that I was able to see longevity, but then the question then came, okay, well, what types of things did you deal with throughout the relationship? Did you actually deal with it, or did you sweep it under the rug? You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like, and this is me, any of my cousins that's up here, you are more than welcome to share your standpoint on it. But me personally, I don't feel like I saw them disagree in a healthy manner. It was always whatever you say, Robert, or whatever you say, Dan. Like, that's just what it was. I don't remember seeing them talk about, well, honey, I really did not agree with how you said that. So then now, like I said, when it came to my mama, when it came to, other people in the family, did we really have the tools that we needed to effectively work through whatever things are? So no. So now guess what you do? You grew up to be an adult, early adult into mid adulthood, whatever, not knowing how to properly go through your relationship, how to disagree, how to actively work through the issue, work through the problem. You didn't. I didn't. You know what I mean? I just did. And so I'm really, really curious to know, like, what are some ways that you kind of work through the problem? Or did you just say, hey, you know what, this ain't for me, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and move on? Because again, I'm not knocking anybody that does whatever is necessary for them. I'm not saying that, but what is the lesson that's being learned in it? Are you learning healthy ways to navigate the situation? Are you learning healthy ways to fix whatever and realize that, hey, you know what? I could have been that problem in that instant. Maybe you weren't the problem for the whole entirety of the relationship, but maybe you were the problem in terms of what you were the problem for. And so I have realized the time. I won't go too much further into that. Let's see. Most older women never had much to say. It's younger women that talk the fault. Exactly. And I think that's the difference. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, as the newer generations came along, the newer generations were in a spot where it's like, okay, I saw this happen in that generation. I didn't necessarily like it, but then maybe I did like it, so they tweak whatever worked in that generation and applied it to their situation or not, right? And then again, you still get to the place where, okay, how many people know how to actively and officially deal with conflict? And there's a lot of people that do not know how to deal with conflict, even at, as I like to say it, even at our big ages now. A lot of us still don't know how to deal with conflict. A lot of us are uncomfortable with having the uncomfortable conversations. A lot of us will straight up be ready for a war if you go to the constructive criticism, because, hey, I'm not used to that. I'm not used to that. Or a lot of us, you know what I mean, we have painted this picture in our heads of what is healthy, even though maybe we haven't done the necessary work to work towards that or continue to do the work. Because I don't want anybody to think, oh, he's saying that you do the work one time and then it's over and done. No, it's a continuous process. You know what I mean? You will continue to have to read self-help books, do positive affirmations. You will continue to have to pour into yourselves, because the reality is it's a lot of people that's not going to pour to you. They'll come and be a succubus in your life. They'll come and drain your ass in your life, but they won't necessarily pour back into you the way that you pour to others. So then you got to think about that too. So if you're not willing to do and pour into yourself, then don't sit there and wait and expect somebody else to pour into you. I'm just to keep it all the way real. So it's a continuous process for yourself. So again, like I said, I have noticed the time, and you guys know I normally don't like to go over an hour and a half, but if y'all was turning up a little bit more in the comments, we would see where it was going to go. But I am immensely grateful for all that you have done. Before I do that, I was meaning to show this clip earlier because I thought that this was an interesting take on the 50-50. So I'm gonna wrap back to this 50-50 thing, y'all. We ain't gonna talk about it. I just want to show it. And then if you have some thoughts on it, then we can talk about it. So hold on one second. Minimize.
My husband pays all the bills. Thank God. So his check literally covers everything. My check is something that we use for investments, we use for savings, and we use to pay off debt. But if for any reason I don't work for the next 20 years, we'll be fine, because he makes enough to cover all of our expenses. But I like to still work. I like that I have income. And to be honest, your girl has student loan debts. I've got debt. So I'm glad that my check is able to pay towards both him and I's debt.
Now that's what you call teamwork. Sounds like teamwork to me. Sounds like a very supportive wife. And you don't hear this a lot. You always hear my money, and his money is our money. You never hear that part. She said my money goes to investments. I'm gonna leave that at that. Kudos to a wife supporting her husband. Kudos to a wife investing in her family. Kudos to that. You don't see a lot of those reels out there. But that bush, you see that every single day. And we're going to continue to put it in front of your face, chump.
So I would definitely say that, you know, thank you, Ms. Daphne, for saying that. She said, I literally just watched that last night. This is what you call a power couple. And I agree with that. Like, I love all of what she said. She literally said, hey, well, I'm paying towards our debt. So if we got a credit card, and I'm just using this as an example, we got a credit card, she's paying the credit cards off. I'm still out there, again, assisting, aiding in our lifestyle, the lifestyle that we love, the lifestyle, you know, that we have cultivated. But she then is also working her 9 to 5, and she's investing in stocks and bonds for us as a family. She's investing, you know what I mean, in things that will work well for us as a unit. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with it all day. All day. So I said that to say that, you know, again, I thank y'all for tuning in. How do you guys, I want to get a little bit of feedback from you guys. How do you like the clips? How do you like me adding the clips to kind of support what it is that we are discussing? How do you guys like that? And how do you like it in real time? So I'm looking in the comments, and I'm looking over there on YouTube, and I'm looking here in Facebook. If you like the clips, she said, I really love this topic. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Daphne. If you like the clips, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube, can you put like in the comment? I want to see like. If you like seeing the clips in real time, can you put that in the comments? Can you put that in the comment section? Just type like, because I can't really see, of course, the loves and all of that. I love the clips. Thank you. Thank you. I think you should invite people to your lives as well. Absolutely. And so I'm glad you said that, Ms. Daphne. Yes. If you guys are ever interested in joining a real live, like this platform that I'm recording from will allow that. So if you ever want to be a part of the show, but you're like, dang, Jarvis, I'm not close to where you live at, can I be on the show? Yes, we can go ahead and we can plan, and I can send you the clip, not the clip, the link, so that you can join, and then I can join you, and you, wherever you are, we can do it. So I pay for this platform, so I definitely would like to utilize that. So if you are willing and wanting to join, please feel free to reach out to me in my inbox, and I would love to. I would definitely love to do that. And to your point, Ms. Daphne, yes. So like, if let's say for instance, there was a particular topic that you favored, and you was like, hey Jarvis, I'm cool with coming on live. Can I join the live and talk about that topic specifically? You just played the clip. I want to come up there and I want to talk about it. We can do that. So yes, absolutely. Okay. Thank you, Nakima. So I'm seeing a lot of people like the clips. Okay. And then Sierra said, yes, love what she said, but what about the guy that popped up? The clips were good tonight. Thank you. You talking about the guy that was on that clip? So if you're talking about the guy that was on the clip, I'm gonna call you free because I have no clue about that board. So I'm gonna call you. Yes. All right. Thank you. Okay. So over here on YouTube, Naturally NC said they helped push the conversation. Good job. Thank you. And then I also got a like on the clip as well. So yes. So that's the plan. The plan is to continue to use clips. I thank you guys for helping me continue to get better with content and things like that. So I will continue to try to get better. I will continue. There might be some humps and bumps in the road, but I will continue to try to give more content. There is another type of show that, like I told you guys before, there's an extension to the show that I would like to do as well. And so there's a lot more to come here in season 4. So you don't have to wait for season 5. It's going to be here in season 4. So please stay tuned with your boy. Checking in with Pam LLC is so much more that is to come. Ms. Daphne said, you know that I'm willing to join as long as I'm not driving. Yes, please, like anybody that wants to join, and it can be, you can join in real time. So I want to make sure that I specify that. You can join in real time. Like if you say, hey, I would like to join. I know you guys can't see my setup, but there's literally on my side a button that I can press, and I can literally just send the link to you, and you can literally pop in and join, and I'll be able to see you, and then I'll be able to bring you onto the screen with me. The only thing that I ask is if you do decide that you want to join for a specific topic, to try your hardest to be in an area where it's a little bit quiet, because we, you know, a lot of interference and things like that happen. But outside of that, yes, please, I would love that. I would love for anybody that will be willing to come on and talk. So yes. You guys know I always like to end these sessions with always talking about something mental health related. And so what I would say is I will go back and wrap to encouraging any men in your lives, especially men of color, to go out and get screenings, because June is, in fact, Men's Mental Health Month. So please, please, please encourage men to go do that. As well as I would say for you, whomever is listening, please take 30 minutes, just 30 minutes or more if you have the time, but at least 30 minutes to do something for you. And I don't want no excuses. I don't want to hear, oh, I'm so busy. No, take 30 minutes, whether that's run yourself a bath, whether that's go get your nails done. Well, a lot of you get your nails done on a regular basis anyway, but still, guess what? That's for you. Do that. Take whatever time you need for yourself. So I promise you, doing that will help you reground, recenter, and refocus. So that will be my mental health tip for today. All right. So as always, as of now, we are definitely recording next Tuesday. So I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. We have not forgotten about Spoken Mic. So Spoken Mic, for those of you that may or may not remember, Spoken Mic is where you, the viewers, provide us with topics that you would like to see discussed on here. So please send love you too, Ms. Daphne. Thank you so much again for supporting me. So please send me any types of topics that you would like to be discussed. You can place those in my inbox, and you can put in my inbox. Of course, I don't know what that you set the topic, but you can tell me, hey Jarvis, I do not want my name to be attached to it, and so I will then let it be known that it was an anonymous topic. So please, 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 and again, thank you so much for all that you have done and all that you continue to do. Thank you, and we will be back next week. Have a good rest of your week, y'all. Thank you again. Peace.